This is the day the Lord has made, and we step into this Thursday with confidence in his power, his mercy, and his divine agenda for our lives. There are seasons in life when we encounter resistance that we cannot explain. Doors close without warning. Opportunities slip through our hands. People walk away. Efforts fail despite our sincerity. In those moments, it feels as if something has stopped us. Something has stood in our way and refused to let us move forward. But today we stand in the awareness of a higher spiritual truth. God is never absent in our delays, and he is never silent in our battles. There is a divine system where God takes what was meant to limit you and turns it into what will lift you. The same situation that caused your tears will become the reason for your testimony. The same place where you were rejected will become the place where you are celebrated. This Thursday carries a prophetic atmosphere, a moment where God begins to reverse what has been resisting you. What stopped you is about to serve you. What fought you is about to help you. And what delayed you is about to announce you. There is a mystery in the ways of God that human logic cannot fully comprehend. It is the mystery of divine reversal, where the very thing that stood as an obstacle becomes the instrument of advancement. Many people assume that when they encounter resistance, it means they are on the wrong path. But there are times when resistance is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that something valuable is ahead. There are times when what looks like opposition is actually part of God's strategy to prepare, position, and promote you. You may have experienced moments where you did everything right, yet things still went wrong. You prayed, you believed, you worked hard, but doors refused to open. It felt as though an invisible force was standing in your way. The disappointment was real. The pain was real. The confusion was real. You questioned yourself. You questioned your decisions. You even questioned whether God was still with you. But what you did not realize was that God was working behind the scenes, orchestrating a reversal that would exceed your expectations. God has a pattern. Before elevation, there is often isolation. Before honor, there is often humiliation. Before celebration, there is often rejection. This is because God uses difficult seasons to build strength within you. If he gives you the platform without preparing your character, the platform can destroy you. So he allows you to go through seasons where you feel delayed, not because he wants to deny you, but because he wants to develop you. There are things you learned in your season of struggle that you could never have learned in comfort. You learned how to pray when no one else could help you. You learned how to stand when everything around you was falling apart. You learned how to trust God when you had no evidence that things would get better. That strength, that endurance, that faith is what makes you ready for the reversal that is coming. Sometimes God will allow you to be rejected in one place because he has already prepared acceptance in another place. Sometimes he will allow people to say no because he has already arranged a greater yes. What stopped you was not meant to end you. It was meant to redirect you. It was meant to position you in alignment with his perfect plan. There is also a spiritual principle that whatever survives attack becomes stronger. The fact that you are still standing today is proof that there is something on your life worth fighting for. The battles you faced did not come to destroy you. They came to reveal you. They revealed your resilience. They revealed your capacity. They revealed the power of God sustaining you even when you felt weak. What the enemy meant for harm, God has the power to turn for your good. The same situation that caused you pain will produce your promotion. The same people who overlooked you will witness your elevation. The same environment that limited you will become the place where your greatness is revealed. There comes a moment when God decides that your season of testing has come to an end and your season of manifestation has begun. In that moment, things begin to change suddenly. Doors begin to open that no one can shut. Opportunities begin to appear without struggle. Favor begins to locate you without explanation. It will not be because of your connections. It will not be because of your qualifications. It will be because God has decided that the time for your reversal has come. You must understand that God never wastes your pain. Every tear you cried was recorded. Every prayer you prayed was heard. Every moment you felt forgotten was seen by him. And at the appointed time, he will use all of it together to create a testimony that cannot be denied. This is the confidence you must carry in your spirit. What stopped you is not permanent. It is temporary. It is subject to change. And not only will it change, it will serve a purpose in your life. It will become the stepping stone that lifts you higher. It will become the evidence of God's faithfulness. It will become the reason others believe that God is real. There is a reversal coming that will silence every doubt. There is a lifting coming that will erase every shame. There is a victory coming that will make every struggle worth it. And when it happens, you will understand that God was in control the entire time, turning your greatest obstacle into your greatest advantage. There is a kind of pain that comes from waiting. It is the pain of knowing you are ready, yet nothing is moving. It is the frustration of having the vision in your heart, but not seeing the manifestation in your hands. Delay can be one of the greatest tests of faith because it confronts your confidence, your patience, and your trust in God. When things do not happen when you expect them to, you begin to wonder if you misunderstood God, if you missed your moment, or if you are simply not meant to rise beyond where you are. But there is a mystery hidden inside delay that many people do not understand. Delay is not always denial. Sometimes delay is divine design. Sometimes God allows time to pass because he is working on dimensions of your life that you cannot see. While you are praying for the door to open, he is preparing you to handle what is behind that door. Because if the door opens before you are ready, what was meant to bless you can overwhelm you. Delay builds strength that instant success cannot build. There are lessons that can only be learned through waiting. In the waiting season, you learn endurance, you learn discipline, you learn how to remain faithful even when there is no reward. These qualities are not developed overnight. They are developed through process. And it is this process that transforms you into a person who can carry the weight of your destiny. Many people admire greatness, but they do not see the delays that shaped it. They see the moment of success, but they do not see the years of preparation. They see the honor, but they do not see the hidden battles. What they call delay was actually training. What they call waiting was actually preparation. There is also protection in delay. There are moments when you think you are ready, but God, who sees the future, knows that certain things are not yet aligned. Certain people are not yet in position. Certain dangers have not yet passed. So he allows delay not to punish you, but to protect you. What feels like God holding you back is actually God preserving you. Delay also reveals the true condition of your heart. It reveals whether your faith is genuine or conditional. It reveals whether you trust God for who he is or only for what he can give you. Anyone can believe when things are happening quickly, but it takes spiritual maturity to believe when nothing seems to be changing. In delay, your spiritual capacity increases. Your prayer life deepens. Your dependence on God becomes stronger. You begin to know him in ways you would never know him if everything happened instantly. You discover his strength in your weakness. You discover his peace in your uncertainty. You discover his presence in your loneliness. There is also a dimension where delay multiplies the impact of your testimony. When something happens quickly, people may not recognize the hand of God. But when something takes years, when people see how long you waited, how long you struggled, and then suddenly everything changes, it becomes undeniable that God was involved. Delay has a way of making the blessing more meaningful. It builds gratitude within you. It builds humility within you. It builds wisdom within you. You no longer take opportunities for granted because you understand the cost of waiting for them. You must also understand that delay does not cancel destiny. What God has spoken concerning your life cannot be erased by time. Time does not have the authority to cancel what God has ordained. In fact, time often works in your favor. Every day you wait, something is being arranged. Every day you wait, something is being aligned. There comes a moment when delay expires. There comes a moment when preparation is complete. There comes a moment when God says now is the time. And when that time comes, things begin to move with speed. Opportunities come together. Doors open. Favor speaks. And what looked impossible begins to happen naturally. What is powerful is that the same delay that once frustrated you becomes the reason you are ready. You realize that if it had happened earlier, you would not have had the strength to sustain it. You realize that the delay was not your enemy. It was your advantage. This is why you must not lose hope in delay. Delay is not the end of your story. Delay is part of your story. It is the chapter where God is building you, shaping you, and preparing you. It is the chapter where your roots are growing deeper so your future can grow higher. And now, the delay that once stood in your way is about to serve you. The preparation is about to pay off. The waiting is about to make sense. The tears are about to turn into joy. Because when God finishes preparing you, he will release you into a dimension of blessing that will make every moment of delay worth it. There is a dimension of God's power that turns opposition into assistance. It is a mystery that human understanding struggles to accept, that the very forces that resisted you can be transformed into instruments that serve your destiny. When you face opposition, it often feels like the end of the road. It feels like certain people have too much power, certain systems are too strong, and certain barriers are too permanent. But there is a higher authority at work, an authority that can touch the hearts of people, shift circumstances, and rearrange situations in ways no human effort can accomplish. You must understand that no one has the final say over your life except God. People may try to block you, reject you, or ignore you, but they do not have the power to cancel what God has ordained. They may delay you, but they cannot destroy your destiny. In fact, there are moments when God will allow opposition so that when your breakthrough happens, it will be clear that it was not by human strength, but by divine intervention. There is something powerful about the way God works. He does not always remove your enemies immediately. Sometimes he leaves them there so they can witness your rising. Sometimes he allows those who doubted you to remain so they can see the evidence of his faithfulness in your life. Because when God decides to lift you, he does it in a way that leaves no doubt. There are people who said you would never succeed. There are people who refused to help you when you needed help the most. There are people who closed doors in your face. At the time, it felt painful. It felt unfair. It felt like they had the power to stop your progress. But what they did not know was that God was watching everything, every rejection, every betrayal, every act of resistance was seen by him. God has the ability to turn hearts. The same person who said no can be the person who says yes. The same person who ignored you can be the person who recommends you. The same system that blocked you can be the system that promotes you. This is not because they suddenly changed on their own, but because God moved on your behalf. There is also a deeper truth. Sometimes your enemies do not realize they are part of your story. Their resistance builds your strength. Their rejection builds your independence. Their opposition pushes you closer to God. In trying to stop you, they unknowingly prepare you. Opposition also reveals who you truly are. It reveals your faith, your endurance, and your spiritual authority. Anyone can move forward when the path is easy, but it takes strength to keep moving when everything is against you. It takes faith to keep believing when no one else believes in you. That faith is what positions you for the moment when God steps in. There comes a point when God begins to use the same environment that limited you as the environment that announces you. The same place where you were overlooked becomes the place where you are recognized. The same people who ignored you become the people who celebrate you. This is the power of divine vindication. It is when God publicly demonstrates that his hand was on your life all along. It is when he prepares a table before you in the presence of those who doubted you, not to shame them, but to reveal his glory. You must also understand that God can use anyone. He can use people who love you, and he can use people who do not love you. He can use strangers. He can use unexpected channels. Your breakthrough is not limited to the people you expect. God has many ways of blessing you. What is important is that you do not allow bitterness to take root in your heart. Do not allow the pain of opposition to turn into hatred, because sometimes the people who hurt you will be part of your testimony. Sometimes they will be part of the story of how God lifted you. When the time of reversal comes, things will begin to change. Help will come from unexpected places. Favor will locate you. Opportunities will open, and you will realize that God was in control the entire time. The same forces that stood against you will no longer have the power to stop you. Instead, your story will stand as proof that no opposition is greater than God's purpose. You will see doors open that no one can close. You will see restoration where there was loss. You will see honor where there was rejection. And in that moment, you will understand this truth. What tried to stop you was never strong enough to finish you. Instead, it became part of the process that positioned you. What fought you will not define you. What resisted you will not limit you. Because God has the final say, and he is able to make even your enemies serve his plan for your life. There comes a time in every person's journey when God begins to reveal openly what he has been doing secretly. It is the season of vindication, the season where he makes it clear that your trust in him was not in vain. Vindication is not something you force by your own strength. It is something God releases in his own time. It is when he steps into your story and begins to correct what was wrong, restore what was lost, and honor what was ignored. There are seasons when you are misunderstood. People misjudge your intentions. They question your motives. They assume your silence means weakness. They assume your patience means you have nothing to offer. They speak about you based on what they see on the surface, not knowing the depth of what God has placed inside you. This can be painful because you know your heart and you know your sincerity, but you cannot force people to see what they are not ready to see. In those moments, it can be tempting to defend yourself constantly, to prove your worth, to fight for recognition. But there is a wisdom in waiting for God to defend you, because when God defends you, no one can argue with the evidence. When he lifts you, no one can pull you down. When he honors you, no one can take the credit. Vindication often comes after a period of humiliation. There are moments when life humbles you in ways you did not expect. You may lose opportunities. You may lose relationships. You may find yourself in situations that feel far below where you believe you are meant to be. It can feel like your life is moving backward instead of forward. But what you do not realize is that God is setting the stage for a greater revelation of his power in your life. God allows certain things to happen so that when he blesses you, it will be undeniable that it was him. If everything happened easily, people would assume it was just your effort. But when they see where you came from, when they see what you went through, and then they see where you are, they will know that God was involved. There is also a purification that happens in the hidden season. God works on your character. He removes pride. He builds humility. He teaches you to depend on him completely. Because vindication is not just about changing your position. It is about transforming your person. God is more interested in who you are becoming than in what you are receiving. Sometimes vindication takes time because God is aligning many things at once. He is aligning people. He is aligning opportunities. He is aligning timing. He is ensuring that when the moment comes, everything will work together perfectly. You must understand that vindication is not revenge. It is restoration. It is not about proving others wrong. It is about proving God right. It is about showing that his promises are true. It is about demonstrating his faithfulness. There are people who may have overlooked you. They did not see your value. They did not recognize your potential. They dismissed you based on your current condition. But there is coming a moment when they will see what they could not see before. Not because you forced them to see it, but because God revealed it. Vindication also brings closure to seasons of pain. It answers questions that once troubled your heart. It heals wounds that once felt permanent. It replaces shame with honor. It replaces sorrow with joy. There is a confidence that comes when God vindicates you. It is not pride. It is peace. It is the assurance that God is faithful. It is the understanding that no matter how difficult the journey was, he was with you every step of the way. When your season of vindication arrives, things will begin to change in ways you cannot control. Favor will speak for you. Opportunities will find you. Recognition will come without struggle. You will not have to force doors. Doors will open for you. People will begin to see you differently. Not because you changed who you are, but because God revealed who you were all along. The gifts you carried in secret will become visible. The strength you developed in private will become evident. This season will remind you that nothing you went through was wasted. Every tear had a purpose. Every delay had a purpose. Every rejection had a purpose. All of it was leading to this moment. And when it happens, you will understand that God never forgot you. He never abandoned you. He was simply waiting for the right time to show the world what he had already decided about you. This is the season where your story changes. This is the season where your honor is restored. This is the season where God makes everything beautiful in its time. And what once brought you shame will become the evidence of his glory in your life. Timing is one of the most powerful and mysterious instruments in the hand of God. Many people fail to understand that in life, speed is not always the measure of blessing, and immediate results are not always the sign of divine favor. There is a divine order, a prophetic timing that governs every aspect of your life. God does not operate according to human schedules. He does not move according to our impatience or our frustration. He moves according to his perfect knowledge of when the time is right. There is a season for planting, a season for growth, a season for harvest, and a season for elevation. To ignore this order is to invite confusion, disappointment, and unnecessary struggle. Many believers experience disappointment because they try to force things ahead of God's appointed time. They push, they hustle, they struggle, believing that effort alone can produce results. There is nothing wrong with diligence, but when it is not aligned with God's timing, it can lead to exhaustion, frustration, and missed opportunities. God's timing is not a punishment. It is a preparation. It is the invisible hand that ensures your promotion does not happen too early. Your honor does not arrive before you are ready. And your influence does not expand before your character can sustain it. There is a season when everything seems to stall. People around you are moving. Doors are opening for others. And yet your efforts appear fruitless. This is not the absence of God. It is a strategic alignment of events, circumstances, and people. He is positioning you in a way that once the door opens, it opens fully. Timing ensures that your breakthrough will not be partial. It will be complete. Your elevation will be sustainable. Your victory will be lasting. And your testimony will be undeniable. God's timing is also prophetic. There is a moment when the heavens shift and what was delayed suddenly begins to manifest. You will see things happen in ways that logic cannot explain. Doors that were long closed will swing open. Opportunities that were elusive will appear suddenly. Favor that seemed distant will locate you. This is not coincidence. This is divine timing. When God decides that the appointed time has come, no power can resist it. No human decision can alter it. No opposition can stop it. Part of understanding God's timing is learning patience. Patience is not merely waiting. It is active trust. It is continuing in faith, continuing in prayer, and continuing in diligence while trusting that God is working on unseen dimensions. Patience allows you to prepare internally while waiting externally. It ensures that when the time comes, you are ready to maximize the blessing, the opportunity, or the breakthrough that arrives. Divine timing also magnifies your testimony. When things happen suddenly after long preparation, people notice. They see the journey you took. They see the obstacles you overcame. They see the long nights, the unanswered prayers, and the seasons of silence. And when God finally acts, it becomes clear that the elevation, the breakthrough, and the blessing are supernatural. Timing ensures that your testimony is impactful and serves as a witness of God's faithfulness. There is a principle that what comes too early can harm you, and what comes too late can be wasted. God's timing is perfect because he knows exactly when your mind, your spirit, and your heart are ready to handle the fullness of what he has prepared. If he opens the door too soon, you might fall. If he delays too long, the impact might be lost. That is why you must trust his timing even when it seems inconvenient or confusing. When the appointed time arrives, things will happen suddenly. You will experience doors opening that you have been praying for years. You will encounter favor that you did not expect. You will see opportunities that perfectly align with your vision. This is the beauty of prophetic timing. It brings everything together at the right moment. Your preparation, your patience, your endurance, and your faith all converge to produce a supernatural result. It is also important to note that timing affects relationships, resources, and opportunities. People who were once unavailable will become available at exactly the right moment. Resources that seemed impossible to access will be provided when needed. Opportunities that were hidden will reveal themselves in ways that are unmistakably orchestrated by God. The timing ensures that everything falls into place without confusion or compromise. You must also understand that prophetic timing is a demonstration of God's sovereignty. It is a declaration that he is in control of your life and not circumstances, people, or the enemy. It is a spiritual reminder that your breakthrough, promotion, and blessing are not accidental. They are intentional. They are planned. They are perfectly aligned with his purpose for your life. Therefore, do not despise the delay. Do not force the process. And do not allow impatience to dictate your actions. Trust in God's appointed time. Wait for the moment he releases favor. Wait for the moment he reveals doors. Wait for the moment he aligns people and circumstances for your elevation. His timing is always perfect, always right, and always designed to maximize your destiny. The same delay that frustrates you today is working behind the scenes to make your future undeniable. The same waiting that tests your faith is preparing your heart, your mind, and your spirit for greatness. When God decides that the time is right, everything that has been delayed will suddenly serve you. Everything that was once impossible will become inevitable. Everything that resisted you will now work in your favor. Trust his timing. Wait patiently. Prepare diligently and get ready. Because when the appointed time arrives, what has been delayed is about to become your greatest advantage. And what was held back is about to announce you into your season of divine promotion. There is a principle in life that God often uses your past pain, your past struggles, and even your past failures to prepare you for your purpose. Every experience you have gone through, whether pleasant or painful, has been part of a divine curriculum designed to equip you for the assignment ahead. Life does not waste experiences. God transforms them. What you have endured, what you have suffered, and what you have been through are not mistakes. They are the building blocks of your destiny. The very challenges that once seemed like obstacles are now becoming the foundation for your testimony, the evidence of God's power, and the instruments of your promotion. When you examine your past, you can often see patterns of struggle. There were moments when doors were closed, opportunities were missed, and people doubted you. You may have even questioned yourself, wondering if you were capable or if your efforts were in vain. But what you did not realize at the time is that each of those experiences was teaching you lessons that no classroom could provide. Each trial was training you. Each disappointment was shaping your character. And each limitation was preparing you for a season where you would rise higher than you ever imagined. God has a way of using your history to your advantage. Sometimes the very thing that once caused you shame becomes the source of your strength. Sometimes the experiences that left you feeling weak are transformed into lessons that make you unshakable. God does not allow your pain to be wasted. He repurposes it. He turns it into something that serves you. The same thing that was meant to hinder your progress can become the very tool that propels you forward. Your struggles develop spiritual authority. When you face trials, endure them, and continue to trust God, you are learning a kind of strength that cannot be taught any other way. You are developing a capacity to handle more, to carry more, and to operate at a higher level of responsibility. Life may have tested you, but those tests are now equipping you to excel in ways you never thought possible. What once limited, you will now become the platform for your influence. Pain also builds empathy, discernment, and wisdom. When you have walked through difficult circumstances, you gain a depth of understanding that allows you to navigate complex situations with grace. You can counsel others because you have experienced similar struggles. You can minister to people who are hurting because you understand what it feels like to be in their place. God uses your past to not only prepare you for personal success, but also to make you a source of blessing for others. There is a spiritual principle that your past can serve you only if you allow God to walk through it. It requires surrender, reflection, and trust. If you hold on to bitterness, regret, or anger, your past will continue to weigh you down. But if you allow God to transform those experiences, they become fuel for your breakthrough. Every failure, every rejection, every closed door becomes a stepping stone that elevates you to where you are meant to be. Your testimony is the proof of this principle. The moments in your past that felt like the end of the road are the very moments that shape the story of your victory. When you rise above what once held you back, your story becomes a beacon of hope to others. Your past struggles are no longer a source of shame. They are the evidence that God's grace works in every season of life. Sometimes what you went through also prepares you for unexpected opportunities. The lessons you learned in adversity make you uniquely qualified for assignments that others may not be ready for. You have been trained in resilience, patience, and perseverance. You have developed insight that comes only through experience. And because of this, when the opportunity arises, you are not only ready, you are fully equipped. The past also creates a sense of gratitude. When your struggles are transformed into platforms of service, you recognize the value of every challenge. You begin to see that God's timing and process were perfect, even when it felt painful. Gratitude strengthens your spirit, renews your perspective, and positions you to handle blessings responsibly. It is in this space of thanksgiving that God can multiply your favor. There is a final truth. Your past is a resource. What was once a source of sorrow can now be a source of strategy, wisdom, and influence. God can take your experiences, your pain, your losses, your delays, and align them to serve your destiny. What once tried to destroy you now works for you. The very moments that tested your faith become the instruments through which God demonstrates his power. When you understand this, you will stop seeing your past as a series of failures or mistakes. You will begin to see it as a portfolio of preparation, a collection of experiences that build resilience, character, and capacity. What was meant to limit you now serves you. What once hindered your progress now directs your path. What seemed like defeat now becomes the source of your testimony. This is the power of transformation that only God can bring. He turns your pain into purpose, your setbacks into setups, and your struggles into stepping stones. And when this transformation is complete, you will see clearly that every experience, every challenge, and every delay was necessary. The very things that once stopped you are now working on your behalf. Your past is not a prison, it is a platform. It is not a curse, it is a blessing in disguise. What you went through is now the very tool God is using to launch you into your destiny. As we come to the conclusion of this message, it is important to understand that life is full of moments that test our faith. challenge our patience, and question our resolve. There are times when doors close unexpectedly, opportunities seem lost, and people fail to recognize our potential. It is in these moments that we are tempted to give up, to doubt ourselves, or to feel defeated. But today, the truth stands firm. What once stopped you is not permanent. What once resisted you is not final. God is able to turn every limitation, every delay, and every opposition into an instrument of blessing. The delays you endured were not wasted. The struggles you faced were not meaningless. Every tear, every disappointment, and every moment of waiting was part of a divine process designed to prepare you for your destiny. The same circumstances that once seemed to hold you back are now being aligned to serve you. The very people, places, and situations that challenged you are becoming the tools through which God will elevate you. There is a supernatural order at work, a divine strategy that transforms obstacles into opportunities, trials into testimonies, and delays into divine appointments. You must walk forward in faith, knowing that God's timing is perfect. Do not rush the process. Do not despise the preparation, and do not despise the lessons of the past. Trust that everything you have endured has equipped you for this very moment. The heavens are orchestrating your reversal, your vindication, and your elevation. What was meant to limit you is about to launch you. What once blocked your path is now opening doors for you. What delayed your breakthrough is now releasing favor. Receive this message with confidence in your heart and expectation in your spirit. Stand firm, hold fast to your faith, and watch as God turns what stopped you into the very source of your promotion, testimony, and glory. The best is not behind you, it is ahead of you. What was once a barrier is now your blessing. What was once an obstacle is now your opportunity. Your breakthrough is here. Your season has come.